Welcome to my podcast entitled The Wright Experience. I'm Dr. William T. Wright Jr., the founder and host of this show. For a little bit over a year now, I've been working to try to bring you the very best educational and other discipline leaders that I can find. Over time, I hope to continue to build this forum as a resource for all of us to learn and grow from. I'm committed to absolutely finding the very best leaders that I can find to present to you. Please, by all means, if you know leaders that you'd love to see on our show, please get in contact with me and let me know that so that we can make sure that they have this forum to be able to share their experiences and so that we can learn from their successes. I've been absolutely pleased and amazed with the outpouring of support from you. As we continue to grow together, I ask that you take the opportunity to join us and also be a part of the YouTube family by clicking like and subscribing and commenting on things that you hear that you enjoy about the Wright Experience and what we do. Tonight, believe it or not, is episode number 52 of the Wright Experience. My guest is a leader who is serving in his first superintendency. However, he is certainly a veteran educational leader, and he served at various school districts all across the state of North Carolina. He's doing an absolutely tremendous job just to our south at Martin County students, and we look forward to learning from him tonight. My guest is Dr. David Fonseca. Dr. David Fonseca is the Superintendent of Schools of the Martin County School District in Williamston, North Carolina. Martin County Schools currently operates 9 schools, 2 high schools, 2 middle schools, and 5 elementary schools. And the current student population of Martin County Schools is around 2,800 students. Prior to his current role, Dr. Fonseca served as the Assistant Superintendent for the Burke County Public Schools. Burke County Public Schools has 26 schools and system enrollment is around 12,000 students. Dr. Fonseca has also served as Assistant Superintendent in the Watauga County Schools, the Assistant Superintendent of Instructional Services for Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, and also as a principal of H.M. Arndt Middle School in Catawba County Schools, and a principal, assistant principal, teacher in other school systems such as Gaston, Lincoln, and Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. He is also an adjunct professor at Appalachian State University's Graduate School of Education in Boone, North Carolina. Dr. Fonseca began his career in education in Lincolnton, North Carolina, the home of Clyde Alexander, who he may not know, in 1992, and his classroom experience includes teaching and administrative positions at the elementary, middle, and high school levels. In addition to his work as a teacher and administrator, Dr. Fonseca has also served as a school bus driver, a mentor, and has coached middle school and high school soccer and basketball. Dr. Fonseca earned a bachelor's degree from the University of Veracruz in Veracruz, Mexico in 1992, a master's degree in school administration from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte in 2000, a doctoral degree in educational leadership from Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina in 2010, and most recently, Dr. Fonseca completed the postdoctoral certificate in advanced educational leadership in a rigorous 2-year program from the Graduate School of Education at Harvard University. As a lifelong learner, Dr. Fonseca has also participated in several school leadership programs at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. We'll forgive him for that. His postdoctoral studies also include completing the Leadership Institute for Superintendents at Harvard in 2012 and completing the Leading Education Systems program for the Graduate School of Education at Harvard University in 2014. So as you see, he is a prepared leader. And at this time, I'd like to present my neighbor to the south and good friend, Dr. David Fonseca. How you doing this evening? Welcome to the Wright Experience.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
It is great to have you here, my brother. I've been listening to you pontificate about these wonderful things, and so we're going to get a chance to get right into some heavy stuff tonight to talk more about how we can better serve children. So Dr. Fonseca, if you start out by telling us about the Martin County school system and some of the amazing things that you currently have going on there.
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here. I appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity to learn from you over the past going on 2 years now, attending our regional meetings and just listening to your wisdom. So it's me who's honored to be here. And I appreciate the opportunity.
I'll slip you a 20 later, brother. Appreciate that.
That's back in your day, brother. It's 100.
But thank you. I appreciate that.
I appreciate your leadership. I mean it.
Thank you.
One of the things that I'm excited about Martin County Schools is how, and I think that you may see this where you are too, how welcoming the folks are, how dedicated they are to what they're doing, to their craft. And that's exciting. It's exciting to see. So it's good when you have a district with folks that are interested in doing more, doing better, serving well, the students. And as they say, the students are our future. And so we're excited about what we're putting together here. So kudos to our staff and parents, teachers, students, and members of our community for helping us put together right now our district strategic plan. We're in the middle of it. So we're very proud of that. Anyone who has ever worked in putting a district strategic plan together understands that that's about a year-long process. And so for us, it began about a year ago with community meetings, listening meetings. And we held those meetings. I think we had 6 or 7 community meetings across the county. And, sometimes you get a lot of people there, and sometimes it's more intimate with, 10 people. But every person deserves an opportunity to share what they want to see for the future of the students of Martin County. So I'm excited that process that began with some listening meetings is now to the point of our first draft. And so at the board meeting this past Monday, we presented the first draft, and it's ready for community input and community feedback. So utilizing social media outlets, we have publicized the draft in the form of a survey. So our community now has the opportunity to go in and read the first draft and provide us with some feedback. We have 6 strategic goals that have been, like I said, in the making for the past year. So we're excited about that. That's a huge thing going on right now with us, the strategic plan. And so in addition to that, I think from our time together in meetings and whatnot, you've heard me say or share about what we're doing for our teachers and support our teachers and finding ways to keep our teachers and train them and develop them and really making them feel at home. We can't compete. I think you and I cannot compete with the larger districts, but we can certainly, if they choose to serve here in Martin County, we want to be home, and we want to be your home. It's hard enough to enter the field of education now and serve. And it's never been easy to lead and inspire students, but it's a calling. And so nowadays, I think it's even more of a calling. And so if you choose to be in Martin County, we're going to make you feel welcome and supported, and we're going to develop you. We're very proud of the programs that we're doing. We're doing a lot of adult learning strategies to make sure that our teachers are supported the right way. We're investing in professional development as well for our teachers. And we're trying to utilize the best we can all of those ESSER federal monies to make sure that we can try to provide a little bit of bonuses here and there to balance things out.
Right. We just need them to be all inclusive when they hand out those bonuses from the state, don't we? But anyway.
We do. I feel sometimes like we're doing loaves and fishes here with what we're given, but right. I tell you, it's in my opinion, I just feel like if you choose to go into education today, you have been called to right. to really serve at a different level than when it was 30 years ago. The incentives for young people to enter the field of education, it seems like it's harder. They're harder to find. So kudos to our young people if they're going into the field of education. I admire that.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Dr. Fonseca, you served as various leaders of educational leadership, as I read in your bio, and now you're the superintendent of Martin County Schools. What surprised you the most so far, would you say, about the superintendency?
Well, before we get to the superintendency, I think every level
Mhm.
of the role of education, has something to offer and has something that is rewarding in here, in your heart, and in here certainly in your mind. And I think that what has surprised me the most as you transition from being in the classroom to being outside of the classroom and serve as a principal, for example, or assistant principal, or leaving a school and serve at the central office level. I think that the most surprising thing has been, you know, how not unprepared, but how open do you have to be to listen to the advice of others and rely on the experience of others and trust that that there are people that come into your life. Uh, I believe that I do believe that God puts them in your way and in your life to provide you with advice, with sort of like a guiding light that you need to listen to. And so I've been blessed to feel that way. So in a way, it's surprising because I was thinking, as you move up, that you're going to be alone, and you're not alone. Certainly, you have to reach out to folks. That's the first thing. I just wanted to recognize that there are folks like you that extend a hand. They offer advice. There's a lot of listening as you enter a new level. You know, I think that you have to approach every new opportunity with a good listening ear. As they say, God gave you two of these and one of these. You have to do a lot of listening. Um, it has surprised me how much, um, how little we know about the rest of the rest of the state. You feel like you know a lot of things, but uh, and I guess it's expected. You're if you're a teacher, you're focused on your classroom. If you're a principal, you're focused on your school. If you enter the central office, then you start learning your district. The superintendency has allowed me the opportunity to really see beyond the district about what other folks are doing. And so kudos to folks like Jack Hope, who runs the superintendent's group, for calling us to those meetings, inviting us to the meetings, encouraging us to attend the trainings. Um, in this day and age, is necessary. So it has been surprising and rewarding to know the support that we have out there. Now, I think also it's up to every superintendent to reach out, to be smart about it, to network and whatnot. But I don't think you get to this level by operating in a silo. It can't happen. I don't think it can. Um, it has surprised me to see also. Um, I think this job tests you as a servant leader.
Mhm.
Um, and you know, I think that's not a chair of power, if that makes sense. That's a chair of service. Uh, the bio that you read has a lot of stuff, but I always believe that you know your degrees don't make you a better person than anybody else. You have to stay humble. You have to be able to connect with people, and it has been rewarding to have that opportunity to sit in the chair, but understand and remember that that's a chair of service.
Absolutely, absolutely. So much wisdom in there, and I just want to say right back at you, iron sharpens iron, David. And we've certainly. I appreciate you saying what you said about me, but we've learned from each other. And I'm getting ready to give you my favorite question of the night.
Okay.
School districts across our state and nation, as we all know, are having problems recruiting and retaining quality personnel. And so, used to be that was relegated to rural areas, to high poverty areas. But we all know now that's affecting everybody. So talk to us a little bit about what steps need to be taken in your mind to reverse this trend of us losing and not being able to recruit and retain quality personnel.
Okay, great question. For the audience and full transparency, I was offered the opportunity to hear the questions ahead of time, and I said no. Surprise me. I like thinking on my feet.
There you go. There you go.
So the question, it's certainly from our superintendent's groups. We've discussed that often. I think I'm one of those folks that has said several things about the profession of teaching. I think that we're in a time of transition, and so there is a teacher shortage, yes, but there is also low interest among our young people to go into the teaching profession. And so we are going to have to continue to develop the teacher pipelines. That's number one. We really have to do something about pay. And I know that gets very uncomfortable for our folks in government, but we have to think differently. I think one of the things that we do in education is constantly thinking differently. And so why not think differently about pay? You've heard me say before that I just don't feel that this is a 30-year career anymore.
Right.
The benefits of staying in this game 30 years probably are not appealing to young people. The retirement has changed. Your benefits after retirement have changed. The master's pay has changed. The incentives have changed or continue to change. And so I'm a proponent, as you heard me say in different meetings, that perhaps we could contract in a different way. Our teachers that teach those hard to fill positions. There are already people doing it. Remember that we have international teachers that come to teach, and so they're here for short-term contracts. They're not collecting retirement, and somebody's making money out of those teachers, right? Those companies that provide services. So why wouldn't we, or why couldn't we, have the opportunity to hire some folks that are interested in teaching, but they're not interested in teaching full time?
Right.
That's one option. And not having a career for 20 years, perhaps, could increase teacher pay, because we have to make it appealing for teachers. And so if you see a shorter term where you can do 30 years, 20 years, and have a different type of a more independent or private retirement system, you're still going to have to pay for your benefits, like medical benefits after retirement. But I think that right out of the gate, we could offer more pay for especially for folks that want to enter the field of teaching nowadays. I think that we need to continue to recruit folks that are second career folks that are retired, and as we have suggested to our folks that come from DPI and that come from Raleigh, we really need to re-examine the barriers that we put on people, like in licensing or teaching permits, which they are very accommodating, but sometimes it feels like not accommodating enough. So we need to continue to work in that area. So I would say, to answer your question, we need to focus on pay. We need to focus on make it more accessible to come in and teach. Districts have to have the flexibility to find that one person that wants to teach that one period of math at 8 o'clock in the morning from 8 to 10 or whatever. And they don't want to do anything else with the school system, but they want to do something like that. And we should have really the flexibility to do something more creative, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that if we don't, someone at our last superintendent's meeting was talking about those companies that are out there recruiting teachers, not international teachers, but teachers. And to teach virtually, and I think that's creating a division among school systems. That's creating a huge vacuum of talent, of folks that continue to prepare to teach in that environment and continue to serve, a number of parents that are interested in not going back into a building. Which I think, in my opinion, you lose a lot by not being in the building. You lose that social interaction and the opportunity to relate to others, and the opportunity to grow up with, in that school environment, participating in activities. I think that you miss a lot there. So I think that, again, just to answer your question, we need to get creative in how we 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 make this job. Somebody said at the last meeting, we make this job more appealing, or
Right.
make it appealing again.
Absolutely, and we need all of that. I think I might have belted that from the back of the room last time we were together. We don't need just some of that. We need all of that flexibility to be able to go out and recruit and retain the very best. And
Right.
we continue to hear of organizations, as you're saying, that I was just talking with a friend of mine this weekend who works with a big time manufacturing company, and she was telling us that they can start entry level folks off at about $60,000 a year. Well, that first year teach, as long as they have a bachelor's degree. So that first year teacher is coming in to work with us, and I think, what is it, 35,000 and whatever your supplement would be. So you're figuring the average place might be about $38,000 a year. And you got to pay student loans back, and in many cases you've also got to go back and do some additional schooling. So somehow or another, as you're saying, we need all of the above. We need flexibility to be able to hire somebody that wants to work with us an hour or two a day to advance knowledge for children. So great stuff. Dr. Fonseca, let's talk about this one. Let's say, for instance, you had the opportunity to speak to a group of people and motivate them about some of your proudest moments in education. What are some of those things that you would talk about?
Oh, great question. And I think all of us do it all the time. I would say this is not mine, this is somebody else's. Change happens at the speed of trust. I read that, and I think that when you try to implement something, you have to go slow to go fast, type of thing. And if we're talking about motivating people, if we say, for example, a group of principals, new principals, go in there thinking that you are making a difference. If you're trying to motivate a group of aspiring teachers, you are, as somebody said to me years and years ago, Glenn Barger, he was the superintendent in Catawba County, he said to us, you are dream builders. And you're building dreams for people. You have the opportunity to impact a life, impact a future mom or future dad. And, if that doesn't give you chills, we're going to have you check your pulse, because what you do in education is you're inspiring the next generation of Americans, the next generation of moms and dads. And we have to get it right. So I think that if we're talking about inspiring people, education continues to be a rewarding field where you can lead and inspire students, and where you can lead and inspire others and support each other. For our current principals and central office administrators, I would say hang in there. We're all in this together. You have the opportunity to serve at the level where you are, learn all you can, absorb everything like a sponge, process, listen, and realize that every decision you make is going to impact something or someone somewhere along the way. And that's the part that is not easy about being in education, because sometimes we don't see the outcomes of our decisions until 20 years later, when somebody pulls you aside at the store and says, "Do you remember me?" and you remember that kid that you had in class, and they are 30 years old now. They're grown women or men, and they remember you. They remember you for reading. They remember something that you said that inspired them, or they remember something that you may have said in a moment of frustration. They're human, and So that's the part that I like about talking about inspiring others. We do it all the time. We do it all the
Right.
time. Yeah.
So Dr. Fonseca, just as we have an issue and a challenge with teachers, we're also seeing right now that more and more superintendents are leaving the profession. At the rate we're going, there might be a decrease in the number of years that a person remains in the job. I think the average right now is 3 years.
Hmm.
So why do you think that is, and what can be done to increase longevity in your opinion?
So a variety of reasons why changes. I mean, you still serve at the pleasure of the board, elected officials, and they want to serve their community. They have certainly their own ideas about what serving is, and that may or may not align with the interest of or the experience of the superintendent, which can create a conflict. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that that's why good communication is key. Uh, I think that I think that setting those. Dr. Jackson talks about this all the time in our superintendent's meetings. Having those conversations with boards about expectations. I think that that's also important. As far as what can we do, I think like I said earlier, the more opportunities that folks have to participate in training sessions and development sessions, sort of the work that Jack Hope is doing, that's very important. As a superintendent in my second year, I have a mentor assigned to me. Uh, uh, Let me shout out to Lori Morrow, who is serving as my mentor. Uh, so you have the opportunity to bounce ideas. You have the opportunity to just think and plan and talk strategy, uh, think long term as well. And the third thing that I would say to your question is don't take the elevator to the top. You know, you know,
Okay.
T.D. Jakes says, you may think you're ready, but your mind is not ready.
Mm-hmm.
And just when you think you're ready, just when you think that you're comfortable with something, then you're afforded that opportunity to go to the next level, and then everything changes. Everything is new. It's a new level with new devils, and you have to just take your time. And I think that sometimes I see folks that want to take just the elevator to the top. They want to stay in the principalship 1 year, 2 years, and then they want to run to the central office, and they want to throw their name in the hat for a superintendency right away. And there are some things that you just need to slow down, and let get some gray hair,
Right. Right.
and process that. I think that also has a lot to do with longevity. We've got some colleagues that have gotten ahead of themselves, um, but they're free to feel that they're ready. But I feel fortunate that I've had some great mentors in my life, and you may feel ready at some point, but you get to this level, and you asked me earlier, what have you been surprised? I've been surprised about everything. It's a completely different level,
It
completely.
is.
You know, I equate it to that experience when you're the assistant principal of a school. You can go home at night and think, my principal was taking it today, and then at this level, it's you.
Right.
It's you. It's your name on the dotted line. The buck stops with you. The decisions are yours, and the folks that work with you, some would say for you, but the works that your colleagues, they are an extension of your office. Every department, from school nutrition to HR to transportation to maintenance to curriculum, they are an extension of your office. So they represent your vision and your interest, and you learn a lot right away about what people are doing, and that's the part that nothing can prepare you for.
That's right.
Nothing. So I would say again that part of answering your question about longevity and everything is the support systems have to be there, and I'm glad, I'm thankful that they are. But I think the person too has to explore, what it means to be ready, and evaluate if you're truly ready to serve at the next level.
Absolutely. And you talked about mentors, and just today, and I'm considered to be I guess a senior veteran at this point, having served as a superintendent somewhere for 9 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But just today, I called a person that I consider to be my mentor and talked through some stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
over in the conversation, I say, you're my mentor, right? And he said, well, I don't really feel like I'm your mentor. I said, trust me, you are. And all of us need that. I mean, it doesn't make any difference how long you've been doing it and at what level. Each leader, I don't care what you're leading,
Mm-hmm.
you need somebody, something to be able to bounce off ideas, and sometimes calm you down or hype you up or whatever it is that you
Right.
need. So,
Right.
we're fortunate, as you said, to have a really good network, I think, in the Northeast, but also throughout the state of North Carolina and the Southeastern United States. There's some very good leaders that are willing to share best practices and help to get better, which is part of what I'm trying to do with this podcast as well.
Yeah.
So Dr. Fonseca, my last question for you
Mhm.
tonight, on my list anyway. So moving forward, 5 to 10 years down the road, how do we get to where we need to be in the field of education, in your opinion?
Yeah, great question. So, from our meetings together that I'm always thinking and I'm always talking about the next 10 years, the next 20 years.
That's
Uh,
why I asked, brother.
Part of the reason why I feel strongly that we always have to think about the next 10 or 12 years out is because, um, to me personally, it helps me think long term about the services and opportunities that we're providing our youngest students. So I say that to say this. When we think about schools and performance and whatnot, we tend to stay focused on EOG, so we tend to stay focused on high school graduation, technology, etc. But I think it's important for all of us to keep in mind that we have a generation of students entering pre-K and kindergarten at a time where technology is moving so fast that several years ago we estimated that the technology was going to change maybe 2 or 3 times in between the time that they were in kindergarten to 12th grade. And I think that technology is moving even faster now. So we definitely know that the technology that they're entering in pre-K or kindergarten has, first of all, not been invented yet. And so they will be exposed to so many changes in the way that they approach schooling and learning and interacting and networking, uh, that that 10 years from now, I think that we have to do something that is sustainable. And so I think that we have to find those things that are foundational. So how do we continue to train our teachers to stay to stay sharp, to stay alert? Not that they're not, but how do the reality is that the technology is changing very quickly. The reality is that students entering pre-K today uh, have 2 or 3 years already with one of these things, and they have played games for about 2 or 3 years even prior to enter kindergarten. Uh, uh, you know, they, their learning is happening so quickly, and they're entering a system of education that has a schedule, has a morning routine, an afternoon routine, it has classes. There's a certain number of minutes that you're supposed to pay attention, and I think that that's changing for them. So what what I think that we need to focus on is what are those things that are going to provide a solid foundation for teachers and school systems to continue to adapt rapidly to those changes in education, changes in the way that children learn and they network with each other. I think that we're going to have to stay consistent in our recruitment and teacher development programs so that we can meet that demand that is going to be there. I'm concerned about the number of teachers that are coming out of our universities now. And so creating that teacher pipeline is paramount. I think that we need to focus on what are we doing for all the folks that are wanting to serve in education as a lateral entry educator. How do we support them? How do we train them? How do we keep them in education as well, where they feel wanted and they feel needed? And how do we make it rewarding for them as well? And then I think a big challenge again for 10 years is to continue to develop this partnership with business and industry because it's moving very quickly. And I think that we're doing the right thing right now, focusing on career and technical education and partnerships with community colleges, finding those avenues for careers for young people to have a job, uh, if not following high school, immediately after high school. Think of this. The next 10 years, you're going to go in the blink of an eye. These kindergartners are going to be looking for jobs in 8, 9 years, and we have to get it right. We owe it to them to get it right.
That's right. That's right. And you're talking about the recruiting earlier, and it just reminded me in your comments just now. Just today, I had a parent conference, and we tried to help her solve some problems, and kind of help her feel better about what we're doing as a district. And she slipped up and said, I would love to be a substitute teacher. And so I got my HR folks and said, hold on just 1 minute. And,
oh yeah.
And we've got her on the way to doing that. And,
yeah.
And so, we just have to look at things futuristically and take opportunities when we can get them. So, and I know she's going to do well.
That's good.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Fonseca, if you'll hold on with me for a minute, we'll come back and close out the show.
Absolutely.
My guest next week on episode number 53 of the Wright Experience will be Dr. Iris Garner. Dr. Garner used to be the North Carolina NAEP director. NAEP stands for National Assessment of Educational Progress. She now works for a cellular provider in their education industry segment of the group. We're looking forward to talking with her and learning about some opportunities and some intel, if you will, on community connectivity and some programs that companies are offering for families to be connected via the internet. We understand that in order for our communities, our educational communities to be served at their very best, we must be connected and have equal access to learning. So we're looking forward to talking with her on next week. That'll be April 14th, 2022. Dr. Fonseca, I just want to tell you, I am absolutely thrilled that you took the opportunity to be a part of the Wright Experience. Your insight and wisdom is just what I knew our audience would need, and just appreciate you and all of the hard work that you're doing in Martin County, and also the insight that you provide to us in any research. You absolutely help us think differently, and keep up the good work. We're doing that. Anytime you can get this old guy to rekindle and think about some things, that's certainly appreciated and needed. So it's my pleasure to call you my colleague and friend.
My honor, Dr. Wright, and thank you for the opportunity again.
And to the Wright Experience audience, thank you for watching.